and welcome to our new podcast called The Lazy Vagabonds with me, Jordan.
And me, Dan.
And basically, what this podcast is going to be about is me and Dan talking about all our travel experiences and everything that encompasses travel. And then we'll be inviting special guests on, people that we met whilst we were traveling, and they'll come on the podcast and talk about their experience traveling, their experiences with us traveling, and then finally they'll talk about their home countries and what's good in their countries, what's not good in their countries, and just maybe they'll even teach us some of their home language, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah, so basically the main reason we decided to make this podcast was we want to use it as a way to reconnect with all the friends that we made traveling and continue the connections, but also we thought it'd be a good way of making a community between other travelers if they decide to listen and want to share their stories with us. But also, we feel like through most of the podcasts and the YouTube channels and vloggers and stuff like that you see that do travel, there's a certain level, it seems, because they can just go wherever they want every couple of weeks. They've got the best camera, they're in the best spots. It's like, that is traveling. You do go to really cool locations, but that isn't all travel is. They don't show the downs, and most of the people that do it seem to already have a certain level of money that allows them to just go on these wild adventures. You don't see the grind to get there. So we wanted to use our podcast to give a more realistic view of what it is to travel. Like, it is amazing and you're going to love it, but there's hard times as well, and you've got to understand your money is gonna run out and you're gonna have to build it back up.
Oh yeah, the chances that you'll end up homeless are very, very high, as we all experienced.
You'll get close.
I think we just want to be as raw as possible, like actually share our experiences, like as they happen. We don't want to kind of bullshit around and kind of pretend that we're, like living these Instagram lives where every moment is like this amazing picture, and that, like, those times when you do just sit in a hostel and watch Netflix because you've got no money.
Or like, to be fair, a lot of the time, maybe you're just with a group of friends sat at a park or down the beach.
Yeah,
that's fine, because you're with people from all over the world. You're getting to know about them and their cultures. You're having fun, but don't make it out to be something it's not. You're not always jet setting and going on party boats and
like infinite money,
coral reefs and all of that stuff. Unless you are. Some are. They're great for them. I wish I was them. But you're not.
A little guy called Leontes that we met down the line, who had literally infinite money and could do anything he wanted. Crazy. It would be nice, but I don't think that's the proper experience. Like, who's to say what the proper experience is? But I think it's probably more rewarding if you've earned the money to go traveling, and kind of every penny that you're spending is money that you've had to grind for, rather than just, I don't know, mummy or daddy handing you here's 20 grand.
The amount of time it takes, say that it's took you 18 months to save up the money to go on your adventure, you're going to feel like you've earned it. It's not going to be just like, oh, well, I'll go and do this now. It's like, it's something that you built up to.
Yeah, like, you'll find that there's a lot of people when you go traveling, like from when we met people in Australia, and it's just like, oh yeah, I'm going to probably buy a car now. It's just like, but you haven't really worked. It's like, oh yeah, my dad put 2 grand in my bank. It's like, well, okay. Like,
where's my dad?
Yeah, it's just like, I'm sorry that your dad can just give you 2 grand for a car, and it's just, and then it's like, oh, so what are you gonna do afterwards with the car? Oh, I'll probably just, just get rid of it. It's like, Jesus Christ, I don't have 2 grand that I can just get rid of. Like, it's like, you think about, like, people are from such different worlds sometimes. It's like, I could never imagine doing that. 2 grand to me is a hell of a lot of money. I could travel for ages on that money.
At the same time, you realise, despite the fact they're from those different worlds, it's very I don't know. You can still connect with anyone.
Oh,
Anyone can
100%.
be from anywhere and be in any situation, but you might be the person who's closest with them,
100%.
despite being completely different.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing about traveling though, because you do get people from all kinds of different worlds, and they're all there for the same reason. Everyone's there because they want to experience the world and experience different cultures and this and that, and it's not down to how much money you have and stuff like that. You're all
Money's just money is an enabler, I suppose. Money will
yeah,
enable you
oh,
to do
100%.
more, but the actual drive to go and do it is the same in everyone. It's just some people have more money to do more things, and others have to work a bit harder to be able to go and do those things.
Yeah, I think it is something you have within yourself. Like you either want to travel or you don't. Like people want to go on holidays, but to actually travel, I think is something different because it
Yeah,
is experiencing everything. Whereas, travel a holiday, you just go and you just see all like the big locations. Like you
you
go
see the
to
sights.
Sydney Harbour Bridge and Uluru and stuff like that. But traveling, you kind of you do. It sounds really cliche, but you do kind of immerse yourself in people's culture and stuff. You become one of the natives. But
I'd say it's more of a, if you're traveling, you're in a situation where you're more about the people, I think. Like, you go
yeah,
on these cool adventures and you see the cool stuff, which is one of the main reasons you're there, but it's more about who you're with and why you're doing it and how you're doing it. I think if you're just going on a holiday or you're sightseeing, then it's far more about the location and not necessarily about the people, because you won't really meet anyone other than maybe who you're going with originally. Like,
yeah, oh for sure. Like how many people realistically do you meet when you go on holiday? I mean, I don't know about you, but like whenever I go with my family, we always end up meeting someone who works at a restaurant and getting to know one restaurant particularly well. Do you know what I mean?
oh,
It's just
this
like,
bar has cheap drinks. Let's
yeah,
keep
exactly.
coming here.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, and like, oh, they do nice food, and then like you just get to know like the restaurant manager and stuff, and you go there every night for your dinner or something.
Yeah,
Like that's about as far as it goes on a holiday. But when you actually, traveling, you meet loads and loads of people, and you actually form proper connections with them. Like connections where we can do this, what we want to do, and invite people on podcasts with us.
yeah,
I don't know anywhere else that you can do that kind of stuff. Like
yeah.
you know, unless we have pen pals, million pen pals all across the planet.
Back in the day, I had a pen pal when I was younger from Africa, actually, and one
You
from
did.
Italy.
Oh
Yeah.
Jesus, I'd
I
never had a
don't
pen
know
pal.
how I got them.
Do you?
I just got gave letters by my mum one day saying, "Here's your pen pal," and I'm just like, "Who is it? Like, how did this person get my address?"
how did he find me?
Uh,
That's weird when you think on it.
yeah,
Imagine your mum made you do one of those oh, what are they called? Exchange trips, and you had to go and live with his tribe in Africa.
I'd have loved that. Like, I'd have
That'd be cool.
loved to do an exchange trip. I think that
Yeah.
would have been a really cool experience.
I think when you're a kid though, it's a bit different. If you just get
You,
upped
you
and
you
outed
don't
and
you don't think about everything in the same way when you're young. You're just like, oh
no.
no, my friends don't live there.
Yeah, true. It's like, who am I supposed to ride my bike with?
Yeah. All right. So why don't we get into what it is that made us want to travel and why we decided to set off on our journeys? Like, what was it that led up to it? What made you decide traveling is what I want to do?
Hmm. Good question, Dan. What made me want to travel? I don't know. I've always it has always been in the back of my mind that I wanted to see the world. When I've been young, I remember I forget what age it was, but I watched a film called The Beach, and it's basically with, I'm not
Leonardo
gonna,
DiCaprio.
yeah, I'm not gonna give a whole bloody thing about it, but yes, Leonardo DiCaprio, and he goes and he visits this kind of idyllic beach, and loads of crap happens, but it's not about the film. But yeah, I watched that film, and I remember seeing that beach, and it was just like, oh my God, that looks like paradise, and it kind of made me think there must be more, than just England. You know, England's cold weather, and then you see these beaches, and I'm just like, oh my God, there's a whole world out there that I have never seen, and I
Yeah,
want to experience it. So kind of that's when like the idea was implanted into my head like a seed. And then
yeah,
just, you know, watching all these programs and you see adverts on TV like asking you, oh, go to this country, go to that country. And I just, you know, the seed kind of grew. And then as I
yeah,
got older and, you know, I was able to kind of make my own decisions, and more, I just wanted to, yeah, kind of up and leave. I always thought that I'd end up going to Thailand first because of that film. And
yeah.
then I forget, I don't remember the name of the beach, Kofifi Island or something, something like
Kofifi
that.
Island is obviously an island, not a beach. But
No,
it
but it's
might
the
be,
beach. The
it was
beach
on
is on
there
that.
probably.
I
Yeah,
think the
yeah,
beach is on that. It might be. I might be wrong. People will probably be
yeah.
like, "Hey, stupid." But
Traveler, are you?
oh, I'm sorry, I don't know every place. It's just like this thing made you travel. You should know it.
Oh no, it's called Maya, isn't it? Maya Beach.
Um,
Anyway, don't.
but
That's not important.
apparently it got closed down recently because too many people have watched the film The Beach and wanted to go there and recreate the
Tourist attraction.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah, and so the beach was just littered with rubbish, which is really sad. It was really
yeah,
sad. But yeah, that's my initial kind of insight into traveling. And then, you know, I grew up, met you at college, and then we kind of
yeah.
ended up talking about it quite a lot. And then yeah, we just decided one day to up and leave. But we'll get onto that in a second.
Yeah, yeah.
But what about you? What was your why what was your initial insight into wanting to travel? What opened your eyes to the world of traveling?
So mine's very different to yours. Because even when we met in college, it was obviously when we used to speak originally. My whole thing was, I'm gonna get a really well-paid job after university, and I'm gonna get the car, and I'm gonna get the swimming pool, and I want the
Yeah,
big house, and blah 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 blah. And then your opinion was obviously far more of a who cares? I don't know what I want. Like I'm gonna just sort of
wing it.
see what happens. And then I went to university, and during my time there, I got more sort of into the idea of traveling, not necessarily through the people I was meeting, just I was like thinking more and more about, okay, what do I want to do? Because the subject I was doing at university, I was doing well in, but it wasn't like something that was making me go, oh yes, 50 years of this. Like,
Yeah,
like I don't, that wasn't how I felt. I wasn't like, okay, I want to do this forever. So I
yeah,
started considering it more, and then obviously one of the bigger things that happened to me was my mum got ill. So because of that, I was taking a gap year out of university to go home and look after her. And sadly it turned terminal and she passed away. And then so I was at home watching YouTube videos of traveling because I
as you
don't
do.
know, that was just something we done. And there was this one video by a YouTuber called Psycho Traveler where she was like, if you want to travel, go and do it now. You can't wait. The longer you wait, the less likely you are to do it. So just go. So I obviously sent the video straight through to Jordan, and I was
Yeah,
like, "What does this video make you want to do?" And he's like, "Go right now." So after that, I rang Jordan and I was like, I'm feeling the same, and it was basically a 1 hour conversation of both of us hyping each other up to
yeah.
tell our parents we're gonna quit
Oh
university
my
to
God, I
travel.
remember that.
And it was just, oh no, this is gonna be hard, but we should
Yeah.
just do it anyway. This is
So,
what we want. We should
yeah,
go. And so literally an hour conversation with both of us where we're just convincing each other, yeah, okay, let's quit university, tell our parents, you move down here, we'll get a place together, we'll save up and we'll go.
I think
Um,
I think we both knew, like even before when we were hyping each other, I think we both knew that we were gonna go traveling at that
yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
It's quite funny. Like we're just both like, oh yeah, what are our parents gonna say? Like, oh my God, what's my dad gonna say? They're gonna hate me for like dropping
Yeah.
out of uni and that. But
Here's the other thing, right? Because I think a lot of people may be in a similar position where maybe they've gone to university, or maybe they've, whatever track they're living in their life at that time, maybe they've already got a good job and that's what they're sticking to, and that's what they want, right? But if your mind starts to wander and you want to go see the world, and it's something you really want to do, and it's something you want to invest your time and money into, people will forgive. Like, people aren't gonna cut ties of you. Like, our parents didn't disown us for the decision. It's not part of it. If you want to just put it down to itself, it's like, people won't understand your decision, but at the same time, as long as you're not like 16 or something, it's like they'll understand you're old enough to make your own decision with what you want to do. And as long as they have enough faith in you as a person, they'll be worried because they won't understand it, but they'll trust you to do what you want to do and need to do for you.
Yeah. I think the thing is as well, people have to realize that, you know, there is their life, and if something is making you unhappy, change it. Like, you don't have to be stuck in a certain situation just to please other people. Like, you can go off and do your own thing. People, like you said, people will not hold it against you, you know? Like, people might get jealous of you when they see what you're doing and stuff because they don't have the courage to actually, you know, change something in their life and make it better for themselves. Like, I remember my dad was like, "Oh, but you're not finishing university. You should finish university first, because what are you going to do afterwards?" You know. But I knew that I'll be okay. I knew that, you know, what I want to do is travel, and I want to do it before I get too old.
Yeah.
And I can always go back and do university again. It's no problem. Like, there's nothing stopping me from doing university when I'm 30. I didn't even know if I wanted to do what I was doing at university as a career. So why am I going to waste that kind of money in something I'm not even sure is something I want to do in the future? Whereas something I want to do right now is to travel. So, you know, but people, people forgive and people forget, and just, you know, do you. That's my motivation. Just do you.
Also, like, people say, like, "Oh, what are you gonna do after?" As if that's like, there's got to be an after.
No,
There's always got to be an after in life, right? But to me, at this exact moment in time, yeah, we're both back home to save up money before we can leave again, and we're doing this as like a passion project on the side. But like, I'm in a position where I'm not sure I want to stop. I'm not sure there is an after. This might just be what I do from this point forwards. And because of that, I'm far more interested in trying to learn a skill that I can use online and building up a business that way so that I can continue to travel than I am in, oh, I've got this degree that over 100,000 other people in the country also have, so we can probably all apply for Morrison's and hopefully one of us will get the job. Like, here's the thing, university is great and I recommend everyone go for the experience, and also if you really do love a subject and you really do want a career in something, then that's great. But if you're unsure, if it's not something that you in your heart go to yourself, I've got to do this, I love this subject, this is the career I want, maybe it's okay to put it off for a couple of years until you do know what you want, because rushing into it and picking a subject just because you happen to be good at it in school doesn't set you up for something you want to do with your life.
No, I agree. I think to go to university, you either have to be 100% sure on what your path is for your future and your career. Because I think, no offense to people who do it, but people who go to university and do sociology and like subjects like that, I'm just saying, like,
I did sociology.
I know, but it's just like, I feel like people who go and do stuff like sociology, they just do it because, you know, just to go to university. I think if you're going to waste that kind of money, you should actually do something that has a career path at the end of it, you know, that something that has an end goal. Like sociology, what are you going to do with that? You know, unless you're going into a specialist subject afterwards and doing your masters, I don't see the point of doing sociology. No, I'm not trying to berate people who do sociology.
Teacher, mate.
Yes, that's fine. That's fine. Like you got to do your PGC and stuff after that. That's a good, you know, that's a path to what you're doing. But people who just go mindlessly into university just because it's expected of them, I think just have more courage just to say no and find out what you want to do to start with. Don't
Yeah.
just go mindlessly into university and just pick a subject just because.
It's not right for everyone.
No, no.
For me, honestly, my reason for going to university was more than anything the experience. I wanted to go to university to like see what university was, do the university life.
Yeah,
And I was doing fine in my studies, like I said, but in general, it wasn't something that fascinated me. It wasn't something I saw myself doing for the rest of my life. So when the choice came down to like going to look after mum or staying to get my degree, which most of my family and stuff wanted me to do, obviously I chose to go to mum. When the
yeah.
decision came go back to university or go traveling and do what like you really want to, yet again, I chose the thing I wanted to do over the thing that probably everyone else in my life thought I should. I
Yeah,
did what I wanted to. I followed sort of the path I wanted to follow rather than the one that everyone else told me I should.
exactly. Like I said, I think people have been, um, what's the word I'm trying to think of? You've been accustomed, like you've been
Indoctrinated.
taught, maybe, yeah, you've been taught that that's the path you're supposed to go down. You know, to go to school, college, university. You know, put down a mortgage on a house, buy your car, get a family, kids. You know, get them for education, and just kind of repeat the cycle of the system.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, fight against the system kind of thing. But I'm saying that I think nowadays, you know, that's not the only path you can take in life. There's so many opportunities. Obviously, some people aren't as fortunate as we are to be able to, you know, have these opportunities to go traveling and, you know, and do
Yeah.
that. But I think there's so many more opportunities than just living that one kind of life of, yeah, job, blah, 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 kids, and then repeat, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
You know, we can do so many different things now. There's so many different amazing things to experience,
Yeah.
and it's just you got to be brave, and you just got to be like, nah, screw it, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing what you expect of me. I'm doing what I truly want to do.
And also, as technology rises and gets better, there's far more jobs out there that will allow you to do it whilst traveling. You know, like
Oh yeah, 100%.
if you've got any kind of skill online, as long as you like double down on it and make sure you get good at it, that's something you can sell. That's something someone else can't do that they need, whether it be a business or whatever it is. If they need a
Yeah,
virtual assistant or something like that, that's something you could be if you have the necessary skills.
yeah.
Um,
It's like,
so I guess it's not. What I'm trying to say is going traveling doesn't mean you have to sacrifice a career. It
oh
just means a
no,
different career.
exactly, exactly. There's so many opportunities to make money on the road. Like what were we looking at the other day about? Well, you mainly. We're looking about like the flipping, like buying stuff
Oh
from
yeah, yeah,
charity shops and that and selling it online. Or I was looking at some kind of businesses the other day about you just it's like Etsy. I don't know if you know about Etsy, but
yeah. I've heard
you know
about
it's like an online marketplace. You kind of make stuff and then sell it online. I reckon you could do that anywhere
it.
in the
Yeah.
world. You know,
Oh
like
yeah.
I watched this I, I watched this TV program called Girl Boss,
Yeah.
and it's something like that, or
No, no. I've heard of
Nasty
the
Girl.
show.
No, I think Nasty Girl or something like that. But yeah, she basically goes to these charity shops and finds these like clothes, and then she alters the design on them and sells them for a freaking fortune. So like,
Yeah.
stuff like that, you can if you're good at it.
Yeah.
There's no reason you can't make a living off it and go traveling.
Mm.
Like that's like the dream, isn't it? To be able to do that. Not
No, I feel for a lot of the people that you'll be hearing in the earlier days with us. Many of them have the same desire. They just want to be free. And like, if you want to be free, then there's many ways to like allow that to take place. If you will, you don't have to be tied down if you don't want to be.
Exactly. I think
And at any point in your life, you can become tied down. It's not as if you pick this, you can't do that, or if you do that, you can't do this. You can do both, just at different stages of your life.
yeah, of course. Like, but the thing, there's one thing that I want to say as well is that you notice like a lot of people. I think it's like a stereotype that a lot of people that go traveling are quite young. Like when before we went traveling, what did we expect the average age would be when we were traveling? Like 18, 19.
Yeah,
I think
like
it must have been,
university age.
yeah, it must have been like 26, 27 the average age. Like there was like 30-year-olds. And
Yeah,
like
in
the
our
good
bigger
thing is
group.
I remember as well when we were in Melbourne, there's people like literally people like in their 50s. Like there was like this old Asian woman, and she was in the kitchen cooking like a big like curry for everyone.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's like it is like everyone kind of comes together. It's like no one has like sees like this 50-year-old woman in the kitchen in a hostel and thinks, oh Jesus Christ. They're just like, oh my God, like what's she doing there? Let's go talk to her, and everyone is there for the same reason, and it is like a small little family in every hostel you go to, and that's how
Yeah,
you meet so many cool people like that.
yeah, sure. And obviously from there as well, you end up sort of, I don't know, you and all of your mates will get apartments and stuff through
Yeah.
somewhere like Airbnb, and then you can all visit each other. And the main thing you notice traveling is, I think there's two kinds, right? Or there's three. There's a few different types, but there's someone who's there just for the scenery, I guess. There's someone who's going to move place to place to place to place, and they're going to go and they're going to take it all in, but they're gonna move through the country fairly quick. They're not gonna spend too long in any one location, and they won't make like massive bonds, if you will, right?
Mm.
And then you've got someone who tends to be in the cities most of the time working, and they will occasionally go on a road trip here or a bit here, or they're going to do things, but it'll be a lot less. But at the same time, their life's enriched by the sense that there's loads of people they get to know really, really well because of how long they spend in the hostels and in apartments with them and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're traveling in more a meet the world kind of way rather than a see the world kind of way. And then the majority are somewhere in the middle. They'll spend a few months working, then they'll travel somewhere for a month, then a few months. And like, there's a mix depending on what your bank balance is, depending on what it actually is you're there for. You may think you're going for one side of it and really, really like the other side of it, and you'll do that one instead.
Oh, for sure, man, for sure. Like the way that I envisioned our traveling going and the way it actually happened
Oh, yeah.
are very, very different.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely something we'll get onto in more detail at
Yeah.
some other point. We just kind of want to introduce how we went traveling to start with rather than get into the meat of it.
Yeah.
But I think, do you think that's a good segue to talk
Yeah.
about the process of saving? The process
Okay.
of saving to travel for the first time.
Um. Okay. So here's the deal. You don't want to do what we did. We we
Absolutely not.
we dropped out of university, moved in with each other. We're like, okay, we're gonna work full time. We're gonna save money. We're gonna do really well. Okay,
Oh,
but the problem with that is living together and having friends meant we went out on weekends,
yeah. We were still.
and like at one point my bank balance had got pretty good, and we are like, yeah, this is going well. And then there was a festival, and
Oh,
I was
yeah.
just like, Jordan, I want to go to the festival. So we went to
That
the
was very
festival.
last minute. Like we
Yeah,
literally bought the tickets on the day the festival started.
yeah. And literally it's like, basically all I'm trying to say is, don't do what we did.
Pretty.
Like we
We
said
were.
we were gonna save, and literally for the first half a year odd after we quit university, we didn't save anything. We
I
we were
think.
just paying bills and going out and having
Yeah.
fun. Realistically, if we'd have just got straight into the saving the money, then we'd have left far sooner than we
We
done.
would have left like five,
Um,
5 or 6 months.
but these are lessons you learn. Like your first time away, you learn. You learn how you should travel. You learn things you do wrong. It's the same with saving to travel. The first time you're saving money, like properly saving money with meaning, you're gonna slip up and you're gonna do things that are just habits, I suppose. If you've always been someone who spent the money when it come in, it's very hard to change your mindset into a no, all of the money is gonna get saved.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's one thing we didn't focus on enough first time round. We were more interested in continuing to have fun than actually just grinding away and not having a life for a while to make sure we had a better life after.
Yeah, man. I think that pretty much sums up what we did for the first few months. I, we really screwed about to start with. It's literally every weekend, like, how it happened. One of us would be at work, and then Saturday evening, we'd be on the bus home from work, and then you'd get onto the top deck and just kind of look around, just like, whoa, there's a lot of really good-looking women on this bus, all dressed up to go out. So I'll be straight on the phone, Dan, should we go out tonight? It's like,
Yeah.
why? It's like, wow, there's a lot of really good looking girls coming in to ride. I mean, what do you think? It's like, oh yeah, I'll go and get some beer. It's like straight away. All
It
it took
didn't
was.
take us convincing. Half the time it wasn't even us planning it. We'd have a friend message us, just like,
Oh yeah.
oh, shall we go out tonight? And me and Jordan would have been both at home. We're both like, no, we won't go. Our friend messaged us. It's like, yeah, come over, bring the boys.
Yeah. Yeah, because we'd be sitting at home like watching TV and just like, well, I could be doing this. I could be out getting drunk, trying to meet some people.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know, but
what would you rather be doing?
having travelled and actually sorted it out, and like we both moved back with our dads. Well, basically, we just were like, if we're gonna make this happen, then we have to go get focused, and we did, and we managed to get to the stage where we could go, and having now been, I'm way more I'm way more fired up to not do anything so I can leave again. Let's put it that way. Like, I don't
Yeah.
have the desire right now to go out at all. All I have the desire to do is save the money so that we can leave again.
I think that's the thing because we were still really in that university mindset when we first moved back in together. So it was all that partying and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but now having been traveling and seen, what we can experience, we've very changed in that way of why would I want to be in England just, wasting my money on the weekends? Not that England's a bad country,
No.
but, you could be having better, in our opinion, experiences somewhere else in the world. Like it is perspective, I guess.
Of course.
Like,
And
where would
also,
you rather be?
I think people. There's a philosophy that doesn't make sense, I think, which is like a lot of people who are in their home country, maybe, who are just like living and saving to a certain extent, but there's no focal point to why they're doing it, because they don't have a desire for what the money's being saved for. It doesn't mean anything, I guess. It just feels like they're doing it for no reason. And on the other side, you've got people who live for weekends, right?
Mm.
And I think that's a really bad thing for you to do. If for no other reason, it means you're living for 2/7 of your life,
Yeah.
which means out of that, there's 5/7 of your life that you don't like.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
would
I
anyone be
don't agree
happy
with that.
living like that?
I don't know. I think again, it's probably going to sound like I'm hating, but to just live for the weekend, like what exactly are you living for? You're living to be able to drink and go to a club to try and pull a girl. Like is like obviously to some people that's enjoyable, but I don't get it. Surely your life has to be more important than that. Do you not think that you're
Every day
better?
counts.
Yeah, you're better than just going to a club and trying to reproduce. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, it doesn't make sense. I think I think everyone is special in their own right, and you gotta go out and discover what your purpose is, rather than just drink your life away.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, you did it again.
Mate, I literally barely moved. I barely moved.
It's a loud ass
Is
chair
it?
there. Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
I'll have to.
you'll hear it in the back, but
I'll have to
all right.
change setting for next
So, well,
time.
this bit needs to be cut out now anyway, right? So we just what's next?
Maybe we'll see how good my editing skills are. What's next?
Yeah. Okay. Well, they better be all right.
Saving. We're saving for the first.
We were just talking about that
Yeah.
pretty much. So what we bought. That's what's next.
What we bought. Let's do it. I
Right.
don't. What kind of
So
stuff?
here's something that I think every first time traveler goes through. It's something all of us do, and that's overpack. And the
100%.
reason we overpack is because we watch a load of YouTube videos, maybe, or we read loads of lists, and instead of listening to them, where a lot of them will actually say in the video, you don't want to pack too heavy. Well, instead, what you do is you take everything from every list that someone else mentions, but the other one didn't, and you compile
Yeah.
it all together, and then you go, okay, I've got a list of every single thing I could possibly ever need.
Yeah. Sweet.
Here's the thing: most countries you go to, you can buy it.
Yeah.
Why are you buying plasters there? Do you not think plasters exist where the next country is?
Oh, it's like as well. Like people, I'm literally packing like this giant first aid
Yeah.
kit. It's like I don't need that. Like, when you're at home, do you walk around with a huge first aid kit with you everywhere you go? No, they have like GPs and stuff if you hurt yourself. Like, I'm not a specialist medical person. I'm not gonna bandage someone up if they break their leg. I don't need that stuff.
No. No, and like there's loads of other things like something both of us bought but we never used is like a money belt. I bought a money belt. Everyone's like, you need a money belt. People are gonna steal your shit, if you
Yes.
will. And guess what? No one stole my shit, and I never once used my money belt.
No, I
Now,
think
don't get
that's
me wrong. I'm not saying I didn't lose shit. I lost my bank card at one point, which was
it.
really bad, and I've lost stuff, but no one stole it. I
Yeah.
was just dumb enough to misplace it.
How many days did it take you to lose your first phone, Dan?
I lost it on the first night.
The first night.
I
And how many phones did you lose in total, Dan?
had 5 phones for 2 years traveling.
I don't know anyone else like that. You literally had 2 phone contracts whilst you were out there because you lost your first phone.
It happens, doesn't it?
Oh my god, it
Sometimes
was ridiculous.
you're
It was
good at losing
ridiculous.
stuff. Here's something that no one will tell you as well. Like, don't take too many clothes, just the right amount,
Yeah.
because odds are you're only gonna wear what you like anyway. So don't just pick up an extra t-shirt and be like, I might use that. You probably won't.
Yeah.
Um, and also, when you're staying in hostels, expect that half your clothes will go missing every
Definitely.
single time you change room.
You
Because
will
you'll be
lose
so
something.
tired that you'll forget to pick it all up, and then you'll go and buy another couple of cheap t-shirts, and that's just a process. That's just rinse and repeat.
Mm.
Most people I know I went traveling with, very good at losing clothes.
Yes, you will leave the country with a whole new wardrobe.
Yeah.
And it's something else as well, like just getting onto that still about hostels, washing machines and tumble dryers. They are the most expensive things ever. It's
Yeah,
like,
probably the most expensive, like. Yeah,
it's
they're
what,
pretty over the top.
oh my God, $10 just to wash your clothes. No, thank you.
Although this is country dependent,
Yeah,
this is in Australia. I can't speak for other countries. I know in Asia, obviously, it's cheap because
I
I
just
was
wash my
there for
clothes in a
6
river.
weeks. Oh, uh, at Asia, you didn't actually do the clothes washing yourself either. You'd go over to like the front desk of your hostel and you'd ask to have your clothes cleaned, and you'd give the clothes over and you'd pay them a certain amount of money, and the next day you'd go and collect the clothes.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, it's like taking a mum with you.
I was
Like,
just
oh,
gonna
I
say
need my
go into a
clothes cleaned.
laundrette.
Well, no, because you usually clean your own clothes in the laundrette.
No, like a dry cleaners. That's what I meant. A dry cleaners.
Yeah, yeah.
But it
Yeah.
was.
I guess one thing that I took personally, at the very least, well, actually, you did too, is I took my laptop with me.
Yeah.
I just thought it would be handy to have. Um, I used it, but hardly ever. For the most part, if I was using the internet or watching something or whatever it be, I'd use my phone just because it was a lot less hassle than going and getting my
Yeah.
laptop out and all of that kind of stuff. So here's the thing: unless you have a reason to have your laptop, if it's for work, if it's because you're planning to, like, I don't know,
Make.
maybe you're doing a blog or vlogs or whatever, like, fair enough, have your laptop with you if you need it specifically for something. But if you're leaving and the only reason the laptop is in your bag is because it's always with you when you're at home, don't think it's going to be the same on the road. You're not going to use it much. You're going to be too busy doing things. You're going to have so many people around you. And when it's nighttime, you're not going to be asked with getting your laptop out. You're just going
Oh
to
no.
lay down and use your phone. So my advice is, unless you have to have it, don't take it. It's just going to weigh your backpack down.
Definitely. What else? I had something in my head, but damn, I forgot. Uh, what else do people tell you to bring? I'm just trying to go through everything that I had in my backpack.
One good thing to take with you: definitely use the clothes squares.
Yeah. Oh
Those
no, they're
are
so useful.
invaluable. They're great. You can just pick up one of those and that's your washing. Like, you don't have
Yeah.
to worry about having a bag or anything for them. They're very useful. Also,
Oh,
so that you don't use much room in your backpack and you don't need to buy one as big, roll the clothes. Don't
yeah.
fold.
Yeah, it helps with the creases as well to roll the clothes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something I was gonna say. Like, don't get caught out by all these people saying you need these specialist traveler backpacks and stuff. The amount of people when we were traveling that had suitcases is insane, and they looked far more convenient. Like, I think to myself, I would have probably preferred to have a suitcase because it weighs a ton on your back, man, and it gives you back problems walking around with your backpack all day. You see people strolling through the streets with their little suitcases, and I'm jealous of them, man.
Oh yeah.
Like, but obviously, I think that is country dependent as well. In Australia, if you're just going to go traveling in Australia, then there's no problem not having a suitcase because you're not going to go hiking up a mountain with a freaking huge 30-kilo backpack anyway. You're going to leave that stuff at your hostel. They have storage rooms, which,
Yeah.
even if you're not staying there, you can rent them out for like a couple of dollars a day and just stick all your stuff in there. So it's not necessary to have this 80-liter backpack. Even then, you don't even need a massive backpack. Just like something you can fit your clothes into and stuff. That's all you really need.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need all these fancy zips and all these a padlock as well. A padlock. Everyone said take a padlock so you can padlock your things. I never used that. I didn't even take my padlock out of the wrapper.
Here's the other thing, right? And maybe this is just us, and we're dumb for doing this, but lockers, right? Everyone's like, make sure you lock all your shit in the locker. For the most part, every single time I was in a hostel, no one was using lockers. Everyone just had their stuff by
Not
their
really.
bed or under their bed. Everyone. Here's the thing, right? If someone's gonna be a thief, then
It
they're
doesn't
not
matter.
gonna they're not gonna be in the hostel long. Let's say that. Like I haven't had any of my stuff personally thiefed.
The thing is, well, if someone's gonna steal stuff, like these lockers are basic in hostels normally, and that's not gonna stop them. You know, if they want to steal something, they'll steal it, and
I mean,
so
I know one of my friends had a lot of, like there was one time when I had a few friends have quite a lot of stuff stolen. Um,
I don't know. I
but
don't.
it's very rare. It doesn't happen
It
often.
is.
And also, honestly, the friends that had their stuff stolen still didn't put their stuff in a locker afterwards.
No,
It didn't change the way they were being.
maybe it's just because we're lazy and we can't be bothered to have to go and open a locker and shut a locker
No,
every
right?
time.
Yeah, it's fair to say that most travelers might be too lazy to lock their shit up, but at the same time, and here's the thing: if you have a load of stuff worth stealing as a traveler, you're
Yeah,
probably taking the wrong stuff traveling.
yeah,
Like most
definitely.
people, all let's say I didn't have my laptop, right? Past the first month or two, literally all that my bag was a towel and clothes.
Yeah,
And
literally.
then I had a phone and a wallet and stuff like that, but that was always on me anyway. It's like I didn't have loads of luxury items traveling with me. Like they're
Mhm.
the kind of stuff that you'd maybe take on holiday if you were going somewhere for a week or two. But these aren't the kind of things you take traveling just because odds are you're never going to use them and you're just putting yourself in a position to lose them.
I don't even. What kind of luxury things would you even take worth stealing? I honestly
I
have
guess
no
I guess a
idea.
lot of people have like the girls
Jewelry,
they'd have jewelry, or guys might have a laptop or a watch,
yeah, a
or
watch maybe.
um.
I know that actually, having said that, I know my glasses got stolen. That's one thing. I had it on my bed in the hostel and that got stolen when I went for a shower.
Yeah,
But that's it.
yeah.
That's it.
I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just saying in general, don't be too scared.
No.
Don't don't go into a room thinking everyone in that room's a thief, because in general, humans aren't that bad. You'll get one or two bad eggs.
Yeah. And you can normally tell when someone's dodgy anyway. They're just quite shifty. They don't really talk that much and you know to kind of avoid them. But
Yeah, like they
that's
have an air
so
about
rare.
them.
Yeah, this is so rare. And most people are really, really nice when you go traveling in a hostel. I don't, I don't think I've met anyone that I can say I disliked
I'd
from a
say I
hostel.
felt more safe when I was traveling than sometimes when I'm here. All right, guys. So I think that's it for us from today. So we've discussed sort of what this podcast is going to be. We've introduced ourselves. We've spoke a bit about why we went traveling, how we saved up for it, what some of the issues we had were, and yeah, I think that's all we want to do in this introductory episode. Starting from next episode, we're going to be having some guests on, as well as
Yeah, yeah.
occasionally doing our own little things. One of our friends for next week will be our friend Sean. He's Canadian. He's currently on a student visa in Australia, so we'll be chatting to him, sharing some stories and memories, and talking about why he also decided to travel.
Yeah.
Um, so just I hope you enjoyed this first podcast and stay tuned, and we hope that you'll come back and listen again and subscribe. All right.
Bye
Bye,
guys.
guys.
See ya.
See ya.
Howdy.